Hello, I'm going to show you my handrail here. I made the handrail out of the MDF and just going to talk about it. So in case you're thinking about doing the handrail out of MDF, which stands for medium density fiberboard, you can make a decision because there's some things I like about it, but some things I regret about it. So we're gonna walk you through that and I'll show you. Okay, come here. All right, so I did the handrail on both sides of the stairs because I can, because it's my house. And from what I understand from the building code, you need 1.5 inches from the wall to the rail, which I have 1.5 inches. And then I think I have a little bit more than 1.5 inches. And your rail is not supposed to stick out farther than 4.5 inches into the stairwell, which mine doesn't. And in my particular case, from rail to rail, I have 3 feet. So I'm pretty sure that's code compliant, okay? And I did my little returns here. I returned my handrail. Now, I just have these brackets, just the standard little mount-on stud brackets from Amazon. The only thing I don't like, I don't know if you can see this. It's no worse than any other handrail in any house in America. I think it's strong enough, but I do not like how it kind of flexes because these little guys right here, there's a little bit of flex to them, okay? So maybe that's what I get for getting the cheapest ones on Amazon. Maybe I should have paid more money, but I think it's fine. I'm probably just overreacting. Now, I made this myself, and it's just paint grade, so I'm able to go back and fill the holes in and then sand it. Because a sheet of MDF is like 8 feet long, okay? So I had to put this together. Now, I'm going to come back later, and I'm going to put a bracket on every stud. I just don't have enough brackets right now, so that's why I don't have a bracket on every stud. But the way this handrail is, see, I can sit here and bang on it, and you do see a little bit of bouncy bounce. That's why I'm going to put another bracket. I want a bracket on every single stud. This stairwell, I framed this house because this is my house. But what I forgot to do, what I've done before, is when I'm framing, I put a block line all the way down where the rail's going to be. But I forgot to do it on this one. Either that or I thought it's not important. And I'll just mount the brackets to the studs like on a normal house. And I just didn't do it. But I'm kind of regretting that now because up here, see, I do have, it's always going to flex away from the wall like that. I think I'm just going to put some Dynaflex caulk in there and just let it rock and not be too worried about it. But if I had blocking, then what I could have done is I could have put a little decorative thing here and nailed through the back and then nailed that to the block, and then it wouldn't move right there. So next time I frame a house, I'm going to make sure that I have blocking all the way up the stair rail, okay? So this is kind of nice because you can stick your hands in here and you have a grippable area, which the width is not supposed to be wider than 2 3/4. I'm 2 5/8. And so let me show you my profile here, and so you can understand this. This is my profile. All right. So I just have it like this. You can see where I grooved in here. Grooved in with a 3/4 inch groove. The MDF is 3/4 of an inch and a 1/4 inch deep. Then I put the same one on the bottom. Then I just did a little 10 degree on my table saw and just ran that through there just to give it the little look that it's kind of kicked back there. And then on the bottom I have the groove, which is receiving the handrail bracket. And I think you can see that groove a lot better right here, okay? Now, this being that it's MDF, see, when you're putting it together, you're going to get these little fractures, which is going to be okay because it's all glued and I'm spackling it, but I do not like that. But that's what you get. That's what I get for not buying hardwood. I don't really have good tools where I can work with the hardwood, so I'm just doing MDF. I've always told myself that I was going to cheap out on the finished phase of the construction because I spent a lot of extra money and a lot of extra time on the framing and the concrete, which anybody else would have just cut corners on that, but I'd rather cut corners on the last part because if I ever don't like this handrail, I could just take it off and replace it. Whereas if I was to skimp out on the framing, like with my little example I just told you where I didn't put the blocks in, I didn't do that on purpose. I honestly forgot, okay? So, I think this is going to work fine. The only thing is, like, when you're putting it together, you need to have, I just put this with screws, okay? And I just cut it on the 45 because it increases the gluing, the surface area that you have to apply the glue. And then it's not going to line up 100% perfecto, but once I put the spackling over that and sand it all and paint it, it'll be fine, okay? So, I probably should have just bit the bullet and bought the paint grade stuff that they sell at Home Depot, the finger jointed. But it was like more than $3 a foot, and I'm just mad at how much of a rip-off lumber is. And so I just said, well, fine, I'll stick it to the man and I'll make my own. But that ended up taking me like 3 days just to make all this and shape it and sand it and blah, blah, blah. So either way, you're not going to get away with a cheap handrail unless you just do like a little code minimum circular thing. But I didn't want that in my house. So I think it's going to work fine. But anyway, I hope this helps you decide if you're going to thinking about doing the MDF handrail, whether you want to do it or not. Okay, thank you.